And welcome back to the Subconscious Mind Mastery Podcast. Thomas and Najana back with you.
Hello.
We had a little summer break.
And it was delightfully cool. Thank you.
We did that Fred Dodson seminar in July. That was amazing. Sorry that, for those of you who were here, great that you were here. And for those of you who weren't, sorry that you missed it. But it was really cool. And then it got really hot because the next week on the one of the freeways, it said 105. And I was like, Majana, we got to get out of here. So we loaded up and we went to Colorado and New Mexico for 2.5 weeks. And then I just got back from the podcast conference in Orlando. That was just amazing. You know that a company just paid $70 million for to buy 2 podcast production groups.
That is so cool. So podcasting is where it's at.
Podcasting all of a sudden is like a real deal.
Yeah.
It's like if you can create great content. So anyway, I'm all lit up about that. So we're going to keep just going up and up and up on this. But as we're back and fresh and ready to go, there is something that Majana and I have had in our incubation really since the day we met.
Yeah, literally, it came up that day.
And that is to do our own live events.
Yes.
So we are headed in that direction, and we will probably fumble and fall, and we will learn, and we will grow. But we are going to put together something that has been on my heart really since I started to turn my life around. And it combines, this is kind of like, I guess we should call it the best of the best event or something. I don't know. That doesn't,
right? Yeah.
That doesn't say it, but it is the best applications of the best tools that I have experienced of how we can come to know our soul's journey and implement it. Would you say that's not a fair assessment?
It is very fair. And 2 of these I've never even heard of until this past year. And, if I could have only had these a long time ago.
Well, and that's the key right there is, if we could have only known this back when.
Yes. For ourselves and our kids.
But the time to know it is now.
It's never too late.
So we're talking about the tools of that you've heard. I mean, we've brought these all to the podcast. It's the tools of astrology and numerology from Kundalini Yoga. This is something that we just got turned on to with my buddy Hemant, who was on a couple of podcasts ago. There's an incredible tool of numerology in Kundalini
that goes far deeper than traditional numerology.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
It paints quite a picture. And then the human design program will give you it is such a great, I guess the best way to, that I could just describe human design in just short order is that 70% of humanity comes under one human design category called the generator. And the generators are supposed to do what I did when I got that prompt to do Fred Dodson's audiobooks.
What, listen
you
and
get
follow?
A gut feeling, yeah. And you set your water bottles down and you go take action then based on that gut feeling.
So the beauty of that is you get away from all your frenetic, I got to get it done, and task-oriented life, and you relax into it.
It is a huge relaxation tool of permission to let the universe guide you. And then Rosie Cutter, who was also on, and her destiny cards is part of this as well.
Which are amazing too. Oh, y'all, this is going to be great. I'm sorry. It's just, oh my gosh.
But the deal is exactly as you said, Majana, the thing that was on my mind is if I had only known this when I was a teenager.
Right. And if your parents had known it.
And if you're parenting this, to be able to give this gift to your kids is absolutely huge.
And your partner.
Exactly. So what we're putting together is an event that's going to be here in Dallas. We're going to go back and do it at the same place where we had the Fred Dodson event because that venue was just so great. We'll tell you where that is when you register. But this is going to be an amazing, comprehensive, day and a half deep dive into your soul's window. we are extending it out, not only so that you understand everything about you, but if you're in a relationship, we will look at your partner. And if you are raising kids, and that doesn't matter what age they are, if they are young or if they are up in their teenage years, even if they're in their 20s and 30s, I mean, if you are in that influential phase of your kid's life, and I had my best rapport with my dad when I was in my 20s, it's like, well, then grandkids come along and you start the whole cycle over again,
That's
right?
right. Here you go.
So if any of that fits you, then this seminar is going to use these 4 amazing tools, along with some other things that we'll talk about here in a minute. But these 4 incredible tools: astrology, human design, the destiny cards, and numerology. And we're going to fit it all together. And what's really cool is we're going to deliver you the information before the event with some explanation. So you'll come prepared to talk about you, because you will have already seen the juice of your particular situation or your family. So that way you can bring questions. Like, we're going straight in, right? We're not going to waste a bunch of time setting stuff up. You'll already have the setup. So we're going to come in hot.
Right. You're going to get like a 45-minute lowdown on what your report means, and then it's very experiential. They're like breakout sessions. So, yes, please bring your issues, bring your hot topics that's alive for you with your partner, your life, or your family right now, and we're going to help work through those, see where the energy is.
So what we're going to do is take your astrology chart. Now, for that, we need to know your exact time of birth. If you don't have that, don't let it stop you. We can work around it. That's something we can work off on the side. But it's best if you have the exact time of birth. And we're going to give you Rosie Cutter, who you've heard on here, the Destiny Card Girl, but she's also a whale of an astrologer. She is going to give you a recorded astrological reading. I'm going to give you a recorded astrological reading. And then Rosie's going to give you a little bit about human design, and she is the master of destiny cards, so she's going to give you a destiny card portrait that basically will set you up for a year of where energies change, like when shifts happen, when you're in a stagnant period, when you're in a mash the gas go period. She did that for me, and I realized that there was a pivotal shift around now. So it's like I've just been following these energies, because when you surf these energies, man, that's when it all really lights up, that you are using the cosmic support team to help you move things forward. Or, if it's just time to take a pause, then you can be okay with that too. And then as far as personalities and everything else go, you will get such a clear picture of yourself and those close to you in your life. And then, like Majana was saying, the last thing that we want this to be is just a kind of a stale workshop,
Oh, this will not be that.
So we've brought all my rowdy friends from Aspen. We're going to get these guys out of the mountains down here into the prairie. And Rosie is coming. And Rosie is like, she does shows. She plays guitar in clubs and various things. And performance became, as she said, a way that we bottle stuff up in our chest, in our lungs. And she said when she learned, through astrology, by the way, that she was adept at singing, she started singing in her early 20s, and a lot of the stress level from her wickedly complicated chart started to dissipate in the music. As she started to open her lungs and let that out, it became an outlet for her. And she has that kind of raspy voice that is amazing. So
sultry.
She has that. So she's going to be doing some live music during our breaks and just throughout the day. And then my yogi buddy, Hemant, who was on a couple of podcasts ago, is going to be here as well and do Kundalini during the, like when we come back from a break. we're going to do some exercises to get that blood flowing up into our brains so that for the next little session that we go through, we are at our peak performance-wise. So you'll be able to retain the material better. And if you're looking for just like how could you incorporate some little Kundalini exercises into your day, this is stuff you can do at the office, obviously. These are chair exercises,
that everybody can do.
Yeah, so this is stuff that you can do just along the way. So he's going to be doing that. That's all Saturday. Saturday's going to be the big day focusing on us. Then Sunday, we're going to have Kundalini together with Hemant, and then a big group brunch, hopefully outdoors. It won't be raining. And we're going to go outside and enjoy what should be some really beautiful weather that time of year. And then we're going to do a gong bath and gong and bowls. And if you've never done that, oh, goodness sakes, it's like the ultimate relaxation. That will be highly meditative. Hemant's going to be involved in that, and that's going to be just a real deep dive down into the soul. And then Rosie's going to do some special music to cap it all off as well.
And Saturday is the heady part. It's learning all of this and then integrating it into your life. And Sunday is the energetic and vibrational piece. It's relaxing, getting your vibration raised up so you can truly integrate this into who you are. And we will all be available so you can talk to us, ask questions. If anything specific comes up, we want you to walk away from this, not on a typical like seminar high and then a few days later it fades, but hit the ground running at home. You have tools that answer questions and you can implement in your life from the get-go.
These tools have absolutely changed everything for me. When I started studying this piece of this journey, you guys know I'm doing a daily astrology podcast now. And, this whole podcast over the last 6 years, you've followed my life through kind of that period of the years after I had turned everything around but was still getting feet on the ground. And then headed to Aspen. You went through that with me, the audiobooks and the big, huge difference that made in my life. And then returning back to Dallas and really deep diving into astrology and just how all these pieces have so comprehensively fit together that give us this perspective. And where this really came from was when I was a teenager, there was a seminar that was popular back in those years of this guy that was teaching families basically to raise their kids in a very strict, like the Old Testament laws. That was his teaching. Like, this is how you keep your kids out of harm's way, is keep them basically locked in a cage. Rules, 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 no grace, no forgiveness, no ease, and it was just all about living this very strict lifestyle. And then I went to a junior high school that basically kind of followed that same protocol. So my early years were formed in that paradigm. And I just have thought over and over and over, what if I had learned this? What if I had learned the freedom of my soul? What if I had learned how I was wired to do this? What if my parents understood this and gave me the freedom to be who I was? And if they had raised me according to that? I mean, any parent wants to give a great gift to their child. They want their parenting to be just spectacular, right? We know that we're human, but we never want to damage our kids as parents.
Right. We all want what's best for our kids.
We want to do the best job we can. This gives you the tools to do that. And boy, you talk about giving the greatest gift to your kids there. That is it.
It was so powerful for me when I heard Rosie say in her early 20s, when she looked at her chart and realized how much music could be influential in her life, and she grasped a hold of that and how it has changed her life. Oh my gosh, I wish I would have had these tools when my kids were little.
And she said the same thing, that she said she wished her parents, knew that.
Yeah.
And could have guided her into it because it was there. That's one of the things. I think as I've thought about how our life goes, if you think about a Steve Jobs, for example, his brilliance started oozing out of him as a teenager. And it was just there. And it was like lava under the surface. It's going to find a way out. It's like, and I think all of us have that capacity that like our brilliance is there and it's going to come out. Whether you know a word of astrology or not, you might not even know how to pronounce the darn thing.
Yes.
But it's going to find its way out. So you don't need this. It's just the guidance of, wow, a wise parent who understands this and an open child who sit down and they understand. So when the challenges come up, and they will, you know where they're coming from, why they're there, what they're pointing to, and how you navigate through them.
Is huge.
Oh, that's just...
Hey, y'all, that's guilt-free parenting.
It's not that you're trying to raise them the way you were or not raise them the way you were or anything else. It's knowing how that little soul came into this world, chose you as a parent, landed on your doorstep, and now you have the tools to raise them up according to their soul's purpose. That's just, to me, wow.
It is all about the soul's journey. Now, this is not saying you're not going to have struggles and that your child won't be walking his or her path and have some struggles, because they will. That's part of the human. That's why we're here, right? What you're doing is seeing propensities and aptitudes that you can help empower your child with, and with a self-understanding that if we all had, we wouldn't beat ourselves up and have so much regret.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's what this is about. It's going to be delivered in a very fun wrapper. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be like group unity like you've never seen. We're going to have WhatsApp groups going. I guess I should say group. We'll keep everybody in one pen, but but we're going to have a WhatsApp group around it so that we can start to get to know each other ahead of time. And it is just going to be a wowzer. You talk about some incredible energy. All right, where do you find out about it? Well, go to this website. Go to soulfoodtalks.com/Dallas. That's the URL that will give you all the details and how you can register. Now, if you can't come to Dallas, if you just can't make it, this is going to be streamed and available by recording. And that information is there as well. soulfoodtalks.com/Dallas. And we'll put that link in the show notes so you've got it right here with this podcast. And since we are doing 3 now, and since I've seen that they're paying $70 million for good shows, that will be on the Fun Astrology website, and it will be on Majana's Life After Life podcast website as well, lifeafterliferadio.com. So that's a lot of URLs to remember, but you just know if you're intersecting us either at Subconscious Mind Mastery, the show notes here, or either of those other 2 websites, it'll be there. We're going to try to drop it in your path, and it will also be in the Facebook group of Subconscious Mind Mastery listeners that if you are not a part of, please jump in and join us. We would love to have you there as well. We'll be talking about this more, of the various components of this. This is just to whet your appetite. Get those dates on the calendar. Take a look at it. And if you've, like I said with Fred's deal, if you got that blink that, oh, wow, this hits what I have wanted and needed, then hey, there's one decision. That's go to the website and just get her done. I followed that prompt when I got the prompt to ask Fred Dodson about recording his audiobooks. I set my water bottles down and went over to find his email address. That's how you act on that. That was 25 audiobooks ago. So if you got that prompt, then set your bottles down and go over and just get her done, and then we'll see you here. If not, then we'll be telling you more about the components and the aspects of this and the importance of this and how to apply it over the next couple of the next couple of months. So you can always make that decision to come when it's ready for you. But we would love to see you here, and if not, we'll see you online. Be another great way to do it. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks for letting us get caught up with you with what's been going on with us, and enjoy the journey.